More track stuff. Big ups to Shacari Richardson. I'm a fan of your running style. I'm a fan of your bravado. Although you almost cost yourself a disqualification by crossing the line. Aaliyah Hobbs, big up to you. Uh, who's this? Kayla White? Yeah, Kayla White is cute. Look at man. She is fine. I'm a fan of Kayla White too. I think she'll shave some seconds off of, or some point seconds off of what she's doing. I think if, a lot of these times they're going into the 10-8s, 10-7s. We even saw a 10-6-3 out of Blessing Okabari. She ran a 10-6-2 and turned 10-6-3. We saw a 10-6-4, 10-6-4 turned to a 10-6-3 by Shelly Ann Fraser Price. We've also saw Daniels, who might even be in this race. There goes English Gardner. Big ups to English. She's ran in those 10-7-4s before. And there's Thomas. Thomas is very quick, very pretty also. And there's Shacari Richardson. And like I said, I'm a fan of Shacari Richardson. It's not just because she's quick, and also because Shacari is attitudinal. And she's not afraid to show it. But once again, don't let it disqualify your own self. Now, I said she will not win the gold in the 100. Okay, let me rephrase this. There's a lot of ifs. But Shacari, even though she has qualified for the Olympics, and we're glad to see that, and I hope she does win the gold. I'm hoping she does. But the reason why I said she will not win the gold, even though she just ran a 10-6-2 or something like that, it is because the things that she's doing now, she's only 21 years old, but the stuff she's doing now is revealing that she's new to the game. She's doing things that I think is going to hurt her in the big game. There's Oliver, who also qualified. There's Daniels from Texas. She ran a 10-8-5, win-aided, but 10-8-5. She has a very leaned over running style. I think she's gonna have to correct her style. She's thick. She's very thick, and I think she actually lost some weight, which is good. But I think she's gonna have to change some of her mechanics so she can get the full benefit from her knee lift, because she leans over a lot and she's not very tall when she runs, and that's slowing her down. But running in the 10-8-5s, there it is. And I think this is Prandini, the diver. That's her nickname because she took out Allison Felix in the last Olympic trials in the 200 when she dove over the line. Not mad at you at all. I love it. And here's one of my favorites, and I'm glad she's back, but she's not back yet, but she's still young. This is the Flojo kid, who was the fastest, she still is the fastest high schooler ever, and it's Candace Hill. Love the Candace Hill. Love her spirit. Hate the fact that she got injured and it really slowed her down. Then she gained her weight. I think this is her second Olympic trials. And so a big fan of Candace Hill. Also a very pretty young lady. Okay, so Shacari Richardson. I'm worried about Shacari. And here's a couple reasons why I'm worried about her. Shacari doesn't have the best start in the world. Everybody knows that. She knows that everybody knows that. And she relies a lot on her ability to hit 24 miles an hour. She hits 24 miles an hour, kind of like Carl Lewis did, right at about the 60. And then it's usually lights out from there. However, she's going up against a gold medalist who's the let's just face it, she's the best there is at what she does. She's going up against Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. And this is where I think that Richardson is going to lose the race. This right here. It's about maybe 30 yards. It's about almost 3 seconds into the race. Listen, if Shelly Ann Fraser-Price was in this race running at her top speed, she would be about 4 steps ahead of everybody else. And if you start doing the math on how fast Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and her start is when she comes out and how slow Richardson's start is, it just only means one thing. Richardson will lose. The good thing is Fraser-Price, she doesn't have too many more Olympics to go, and Richardson has a lot, to go because she's only 21, and she's already looking like she'll at least take second place. But we also have to consider a couple things. There's a lot of people you're not counting out when you think of when you're looking at the Olympics. I mean, there's other nationalities, but like I said, here's the problem for Richardson. This is Richardson right here. Okay, this race would have been over with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. Look, those are just the facts. It's just the facts. And I think she ran a 10. I think she ran a 10-7. So she ran a 10-8 here. But we see this all the time where Richardson will run, even if it's in the 7s, she doesn't hit top speed until 60, 70 yards in. Then she hits, and here's another thing. She'll hit 24 miles an hour. Once she hits top speed, she doesn't hold 24 miles an hour. Most people don't. This is how Daphne Skippers is able to beat people. Daphne Skippers has the ability to keep her acceleration, and it looks like she's running faster than everyone else, but no, everybody else is decelerating. That's how she became the second fastest woman in the world in the 200. I think her time was the second fast in the 200. Daphne is either second or third, but she does it because she doesn't decelerate. All right. Shacari Richardson decelerates once she hits top speed. It just maybe 10 yards into it, she starts to slow down, and so does everybody else. But when you start putting these numbers together, you're going, okay, well, where you decelerate at, where Shelly Ann Fraser-Price accelerates at, and then how long you keep your acceleration, it equals a loss. It does, simply because her start is not that great. So Shacari Richardson is really going to have to master her start. Now, I've been watching her since college. Heck, I've seen some of her high school stuff. I've seen when T.T. Taylor beat her about a year or two ago, and she beat her in the 60. And Richardson didn't look disappointed. She looked like her regular self. Like, okay, whatever, I lost in the 60. But nonetheless, you can tell that she really tried to win that 60. Okay? And it just keeps pointing out the same thing. You have a slow start. And that slow start against most runners is okay. But that slow start against Fraser-Price is not okay. That start against Fraser-Price will lose you the race. Period. Dot. And that's just it, and that's all. Fraser-Price has the best start probably anyone has ever seen. And they're trying to compare these two runners, and there really is no comparison. Once Fraser-Price hit top speed, she's able to hold it. Okay? She's able to hold it, and she's able, when she starts decelerating, yeah, some people can catch her. Like a Blessing Okabari can catch people because of her. Blessing Okabari is 5'10". All right? So, yeah, she can catch people. Okay, just like Sharon Stewart is a tall, muscular woman. Kind of reminds you of like a Linford Christie, who was a tall guy and won the Olympics in the 100. You know what I'm saying? Over Green, who's a shorter guy, Otto Bowden, who's a shorter guy. But these guys are running 10.79s, 10.76s, 7.4s. I mean, the crazy, crazy speed. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, you can get tracked down if you have somebody who is still accelerating at 60. It's just simple math. I can't see Shacari Richardson winning just out of the simple math. It has nothing to do with liking or disliking her because I like her and I want her to win. But Shelly Ann Fraser Price would have to have a bad day, a terrible start, which we don't see, but Usain Bolt, we've seen him mess up and then boom. Anybody can have a bad day, so then you have that, and then you have, of course, Blessing Okabari. Blessing Okabari just ran a 10.63. And I'm saying that to say, even if Richardson gets a half-decent start, you're still looking at her coming in maybe third. If she just ran a win-aided 10.62 or something like that. Blessing Okabari ran a 10.62, not win-aided. And it wasn't a flash time. And they made it a 10.63. You see what I mean? It just, when you look at those times, and we're still forgetting about Thompson Hurrah. She's still in there. She can still roll. And we're still, the British girl, even though she's only running a 10.8. But who knows? So you got people who are dipping into the 10.6s and, 10.7s, low 10.7s, and they can run with Shacari. Shacari is not alone when it comes to those times. And I'm talking about Dina Asher-Smith from England. She's going to give anybody the work when it comes to the 200. She's going to give somebody the business, actually, when it comes to the 200. Yeah. So I'm just kind of worried that she's not going to. Well, I'm saying that she's going. I think she's going to medal. I think she's going to get the silver. I just do. I think if Blessing Okabari can pull off another run like she did, hell, Blessing Okabari might beat Shelly Ann Fraser Price. If Shelly Ann Fraser Price doesn't have a great start, then she's in trouble. But if she has that phenomenal start that we're all used to seeing, it's going to be very hard to beat Shelly Ann Fraser Price. And look, it just looks like she's getting faster and faster. I think Shelly Ann Fraser Price might run a 10.58 here. She might do it in the Olympics. There's just no doubt in my mind if you push Shelly Ann. Listen, Shelly Ann runs like she's scared, but she's not. It's just the way she runs, especially when she starts looking up and tilting that head. And then that lean, she's just so good at what she does. If Shacari Richardson gets anywhere close to Shelly Ann Fraser Price, you already got Shelly Ann Fraser Price's attention when you was running in 10.72s and 7.4s and 7.8s. You got her attention. You got everybody's attention. There's no doubt in my military mind that Shelly Ann Fraser Price, look, before this is all over, she's going to run in the 10.5s. It's just, I can just see it happening, especially because of Shacari Richardson. And Shacari's already taking credit for a lot of these women who are running these faster times. And she should, because she's a major threat and she has an attitude about it. That's good. But stay in your lane, one. Run all the way through the tape, two. Don't do the whole pointing at the clock thing. Just run, okay? And, be careful. Don't run out of your lane because you can get disqualified. But you got to get a good start or it's just not going to happen. But we're cheering for you. We're just hope that you can fix your mechanical problems because thanks for the like. We're hoping you can fix your mechanical problems before the big race because if you don't, it's just mathematically once you put everything together, once you put everybody's race together, it doesn't look like Shacari Richardson is going to come in first. It looks more like she might hit tie for second or third. That's just the way I see it. I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because America hasn't, won the big one in a long time. Shoot, who was the last? I don't know who's the last American. Gail Devers? I think Gail Devers was the last American to win it all in the 100. I think, yeah, in the Olympics. So, yeah, Shacari Richardson, best of luck to you. Once again, calm down a little bit, run all the way through the tape, because even with that win-aided 10.62, if you would have kept running, you would have definitely hit a 10.56 or 5.7, and look, nobody would be guessing whether you can win or not, because that time is phenomenal. So I'm just hoping you can catch Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. I think that is highly possible, but if you're not concentrating on anything but catching her and passing her, especially keeping your speed, is the only way you're going to do it. You're not going to win. You have to. You're going to hit your top speed at about 60. You're only going to keep it for about 10 yards and you're going to decelerate. So really it comes down to when are you going to hit your top speed? And this is what Shacari got to think about. These tracks tell you how fast you're running. She ran 24.1 miles an hour. But like I said, you're only going to keep that for a short time. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she's going to hit her top speed and she's going to hold it longer. She's just good at it. So now you got to think, okay, I can hit 24 miles an hour, but I'm only going to hold it for like 10, maybe 15 yards. When do I hit it? Because if you hit it right away, you can decelerate and lose. And we've seen people get caught from behind because they've decelerated. I'm trying to think of somebody more recent. I was going to say Frank Fredericks, but you guys are more younger, so we've seen Usain Bolt catch people from behind a lot. And a lot of times Usain Bolt looks like he's running faster than everybody else, but a lot of times people are decelerating while Usain Bolt is still accelerating. This is a big problem for Shacari Richardson. You can hit top speed, but how long can you hold it? And when you're running up against, like I said, somebody like Blessing Okabari, you have to think, you have a two-headed monster. You have actually a three-headed monster coming out of Jamaica. If Elaine Thompson-Herald also qualifies for the Olympics, and she does what she did in the last Olympics, you have a three-headed monster, and you're really going to have to pick apart your race. Okay, so if you just say, I'm just going to run my race. Well, if you just run your race, okay, fine. Accelerate to 24, 25 miles an hour. Hold it until you hit about 80 yards. Start to decelerate, and hopefully you'll cross the line before everybody else. That usually works when you're running up against runners who are slower than you, like Tiana Daniels. Tiana Daniels is fast as heck, but she doesn't have the best start in the world, and she decelerates before you do. So you can beat her. TT Taylor is still accelerating when she crosses the line. She's a different kind of runner. Doesn't have the best start, but she has a good start. But she accelerates through the whole race. That's totally different. If you're accelerating before she does, you can hold her off before she hits her top speed. A lot of the time, TT is catching people at the end when she's not tired. She's tired from the championships. That's why she didn't qualify. So, you have that whole thing going on. Um, I'm a little upset that Tamari Davis didn't run. Tamari Davis is the youngest of them all, and she's actually beat Shacari Richardson before. She's beat T.T. Taylor before. And Tamari Davis did not, she pulled out. And I'm like, why did we not have the phenom in there to compete against, Shacari Richardson? Because I would have loved to see Tamari Davis run. The girl's phenomenal. So that didn't happen. So there's a couple disappointments, but nonetheless, so you're really going to have to figure out your race because it's going to be a lot tougher than what it seems. And here's another thing that hurt Shacari Richardson, and I don't know if she knows this or not, but she has came up against Shelly Ann Fraser-Price at least twice that we've seen. Well, one, two, I think 3 times that we've seen, and twice that we've seen, and neither one of them ran their fastest. That's a problem, because if they would have went all out in those races, then she would have had experience running with somebody who can excel, they're going to beat you out of the blocks. She would have had a lot more experience with that, but those two didn't go out at their hardest, probably because the people who run track and field said, don't run your hardest. We want people to pay to see you two run your hardest. And we know that's what they do from the Michael Johnson era, where they paid him $1 million to come out and run against the young man from Canada, and Michael Johnson disappointed us. So you still have the people who are in the Olympics still messing with us. They're still doing things where these runners are not running their hardest, but that hurts a runner who only gets a couple chances to face somebody like that before the big game. You know what I'm saying? And the one time, Dina Asher-Smith won in 10:85, and the second time, Marie Jose Talu won the race. And it's like, wait a minute. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price can blow the doors off of both of those runners, and so can Richardson. So it's like, wait, what? And the one excuse was, because of the rain and the wind. Well, both races weren't in the rain and the wind, so that's going to hurt her. And I'm really hoping that I don't know how she's going to do it. I don't know if she's going to look at the other women and look at their tapes and then try to get her 60 time down. But like I said, it was very noted that her 60 time was a problem when she was in college. When she was in college and when she was in high school, her 60 time is a problem. And unless she can accelerate past 24 miles an hour, she would have to go into 25 and hold it longer. Then I can't see her winning that race. This is just my opinion. Somebody else can say what you want. It doesn't matter. But I'm really hoping she does win. I hope she stays in her lane, though, physically. And celebrate how you want at the end, but celebrate when it's over. Because if you make the same mistake that you made this time, when you cross the line, if you cross into somebody else's line before the race is over, you can get disqualified. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen to you, because you're just out here giving it your all, and that's what we want to see. So good luck to you, Shacari Richardson, but you really have a 3-headed monster in Thompson, Okabari, and Price, and they're coming for you. We want you to win now. It's your boy Tom 202. Peace.